When you grow up in a war zone, peace is scary. And when you grow up with someone that can go off at any time, or maybe you're married to someone at one point that could go off at any time, you start to believe that the only way you can survive is in the way that you know, and that's your war zone. And a lot of times this is why you'll re-enter the same old same, because it feels so comfortable. Even though you know it's terrible, and even though it doesn't feel good, sometimes we don't know what happens if we reach peace. Because if we heal and we do the work, who are you actually under the surface of the surface? And that's scary, to think that somewhere underneath everything conditioned for you to become whoever you are right now, that maybe that person is not someone that you'll like, or not someone you'll recognize. Can I be honest with you? I don't recognize this person, but I like her very much. When I was a little girl, I had a very big personality and a very big imagination, and I was very brave, and I was very bold, and I was very kind, but would also stick up for people that were being bullied. And I remember, it didn't matter how little I was, if you were picking on somebody, you better be willing to pick on me too, because I was coming. I loved God, and I loved to read, and I loved to run, and I loved to work our farm, and I loved to fish, and I loved all these things, and I loved to dance. I loved to play my piano, and I loved to pick around on the guitar, and I loved to sing. Do you know what I discovered? Is that the person that I was at the end of the day was the little girl that got beat out of me, that got screamed out of me. I was her. And that little girl would recognize this woman very well, because if that little girl could have been anyone, it would have been who I am now. I remember one of my favorite things to do was to color on my friends. I would get, like, I don't know how safe this was, but we would get Sharpies, and they would bring them to me, and they would be like, "Would you color on me? Would you do that thing? Would you color on me?" And I was really good at drawing this little thing, which, granted, I'm going to cover around her when I'm not covering her, but like, she's getting an edition this year. But these things on their own need something around them. But I was really good at drawing these little Tim Burton-y things before Tim Burton really did a lot of animation, whatever you call it. Anyway, but I used to draw the things that I have on my own body. And it's so interesting that once you heal from the war zone, I mean, you may always be healing in some factor, because healing is like an onion. But pulling back the first layer is scary. That's why a lot of people don't commit to like cognitive behavior therapy or counseling with someone like me or someone else, or, you know, just sitting with herself and working with herself, is because the actual fear is, oh crap. Like, who am I when all of this stuff leaves me? Who am I then? I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be somebody that you like. I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna be somebody that you'll love. And you're gonna be somebody that you damn respect. I know that much. So I invite you to do the work. Do a little work. I'm gonna do a little work with you just like this. But I want you to go do work. You don't gotta process 85 things a day. Rest. Take time. This takes time. But make sure that you are taking time to not be afraid to grow and heal and change, because underneath all of that trauma, underneath all your trauma responses and trauma bonds and all those things that are going on with you, is going to be somebody that you really like. If I was little me looking at big me right now, I would say, she's pretty, and I like her tattoos, and she leads well, and I like her shirt. And I wish I was brave enough to do that. I wish I could speak up for little girls like me. And I would love the opportunity to look at her and say, guess And one day you'll get that opportunity for yourself. Do the healing. It might feel scary now, but it is the best thing you will ever do. I'd hate for you to go through life not knowing who you actually are. Because who you actually are is somebody that we're both going to